Hey everybody, welcome to the final part of the Sonic Adventure Revisit commentary.
I just want to play the game as the
I
question
enjoyed
mark.
this.
Has that been a mod?
I'm pretty sure there's a mod for it, but I have not seen it myself.
I remember just playing it for the first time, and I'm like, interesting choice. They turned Supersonic into a shitting question mark. Like his grunt. Like I'm pretty sure that's not Ryan Drummond or his Japanese voice actor. It's just some random guy that said grunt for a second. So we can like.
Yeah, the mod not only replaces him with a question mark, but
Nothing
all
more, nothing less. I don't want to pay your royalties.
Yeah, no. Aside from making the model a question mark, it replaces any voice clips he has with just
So this story does a very odd stylistic thing, where after a bunch of cutscenes, it'll fade to black, and then you hear like lightning and the sound of a coin dropping.
Yeah.
No idea why they did this.
That's supposed to be chaos showing up and doing something. It's supposed to be ominous.
Yeah, but like no, like it's like I get the fade to black, I get the flash, I even get
It's
the
because
lightning.
they couldn't.
It's the coin drop I don't understand. Like,
It's
why
so-
that sound
I
effect's
think it's
there?
supposed to be like the sound of something dropping into water, but it's a really bad sound
Yeah.
effect for it.
But what does Chaos do to Eggman though? Because when we next see him, he's unconscious here.
Well, you see, the reason that they wanted chaos in the game is because they wanted something that previous generation technology could not do, and they settled on liquid. What they discovered was that they still couldn't animate liquid, so...
yeah, because Morpho from Ocarina of Time looks better than Chaos does.
Because it's like, in Generations, when they first revealed Chaos, he has that kind of like weird, like, Cubone type mask on his face. I was like, that ain't Chaos, what the fuck? But apparently they wanted Chaos to look like that, but the Dreamcast couldn't handle water and a shitty mask at the same time. So
Honestly, I think it, granted, we might not, that might not have been what they wanted to do, but it looks better the way that it ended up anyway, so, what
Oh god, this is bad.
well, it's a Sonic story.
Yeah.
No, Johnny, this is Supersonic story.
Yeah, so
right.
that must mean he must be super verbose.
Yeah, super overly verbose. We'd never finish.
I love Sonic is just talking over there. Never mind that.
So when my brother played this for the first time, he played Supersonic story without playing anything else, and because he had no idea what to do or where Angel Island was, he got on the train, went to Station Square, and just played through Casinopolis 4 times.
I forgot you could go into the levels in the Supersonic story.
It's where most of the NPCs finish their arcs.
No, I mean,
game
like,
is
I forgot you
genius.
could go into the actual levels in the Supersonic story.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Oh.
I came too quickly, sorry.
Along with large white ovular calcification male humanoid, what has caused...
Wait, what?
Just shut up and
Wait,
listen.
but what, was that the SpongeBob Man Ray music?
Yes.
Yeah.
Why did you add the music every time he speaks for Johnny? I did not sign up
That's
for
been there
this.
since part. That's been there since part one.
Okay, I wasn't expecting Nani.
When I got to this part in my live stream, I switched the language to Japanese, and as soon as he said Nani, the chat just fucking exploded into Nanis all over the place.
Wow, your followers are a bunch of weeps.
Alright, Dragon Quest boy, calm it down.
No, that's not being a weeb because it's not an anime, see? It's different.
Totally different.
Alright, Lewis, calm down.
No.
Dragon
That
Quest is
doesn't
American,
count.
I swear.
That is clearly anime aesthetic. That is freaking Akira Toriyama, Dragon Ball art. Okay, it doesn't get more anime than that.
No, it's Brendan Fraser.
It's Brendan Fraser's hair. Dragon Quest is just an adaptation of The Mummy, alright, Lewis? Use your mind. I love this. It's like, I'm gonna murder you and a bunch of little shits.
Just go away,
detail
Pac-Man.
What?
Pac-Man here.
I-
His eyes never open, even though there is a model of him with his eyes open, but they never use it.
I just don't get why he needs to murder them. Like, they're clearly helpless.
Whoa.
They're just standing there.
Yeah, here's the thing. Don't they own this shrine?
Yeah.
The shrine belongs to them, right?
Yeah, it does. And it's just like, okay. Like, they're not.
Now we're gonna move the emerald somewhere else.
There's nothing stopping them from just walking around to call in the Chow. Is the thing. Like, they could have just done that and not had to murder a bunch of innocent, questionably
Jelly
adorable
blobs.
creatures. You know.
It'd be great if they walked around, but then one kid they just put out a gun and shot them all.
Here's my question: what set the altar on fire, and how on earth did you get stone to ignite?
It's
magic
anime.
fire.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's magic fire.
Yeah, because Tikal's doing a bad job of protecting that shrine if it's already on fire by the time she's making her stand.
Look,
I'm
the
answering.
ground- the
I'm
ground's
answering a text
radioactive.
here.
Look at it.
You're answering it. No, you answered it.
I was answering a text there.
So
Because dude, there are so many cutscenes in Final Story, my brain turns off.
it's just the only things that altar is made of are rock and water. I'm pretty sure you can't set either of those on fire.
They're both, fire attacks
Yeah,
are
that-
not very effective on both of those
I would say
guys.
that's 4 times effective against fire
resistant to
types.
fire types. So
I like how the bracelet glows neon blue in the dark.
This is fine.
no, it's his club band, so that they know that he got in legally.
So he can re-enter
back
with the ID check.
That's how he gets his free drinks.
Wait, did Chaos just eat all the other echidnas? Where were they?
I don't know. I don't know if he ate them, but they're definitely dead.
I ate him. I ate his face. I ate his clothes, and I ate the mess he made on the floor. Yeah, you heard me.
So here's a comment Takal makes later down the road is that we can't let him destroy the world like he did last time. But according to the past, she kind of immediately sealed him into the emerald. After transforming, so he didn't really get a chance to do
Well,
anything. Except
he
The
did.
echidnas are very self-obsessed.
It's,
He all he did was destroy that shrine, but that's the world to the echidnas.
Well,
Well, they
Yeah,
could have.
you
I
said that-
think they might have blown up the pyramid too a
You
bit.
you say that kind of as a joke, but ancient civilizations, there is a thing where they sort of thought the world was contained to their own little domain and didn't really think outside of it. So yeah, it's accurate.
We should immediately go to possess the finely cut jewel of extreme disorder and disarray, and then remove ourselves from this imminent.
Now he's interrupting
So-
himself.
disagreement.
I shouldn't have stopped for that haircut. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have stopped for the ribbon badge. I'm sorry.
If you hadn't stood there yammering on, we might have gotten to the jewel first.
Yeah, it's like if the car wasn't constantly making us stand still for 6 hours at a time, we could have done this already.
Notice the hundreds of people walking these streets, driving these cars, just having a normal day in Station Square, and
no,
they're
Chaos, don't flood New Donk City. People live there.
like there are literally hundreds of people in
Okay,
this, and you're going to try to tell me that none of them died, Sonic X? All
Okay,
right,
yes,
so
you
We
know-
evacuated everyone safely.
Here's the thing. Okay, how are you going to flood New Donk City?
Water.
it's floating.
Next question.
Checkmate.
All the water pops out except for the last manhole where Marty just pops up. Yahoo! And then he just gets swallowed up by the wave.
It's time to jump up in the.
No.
Oh, there's no more air
You're
left.
not going
it's just
to.
water.
You can't flood New Donk City. It's in the air. All the water would just fall off. Everyone would just get wet and probably swept off to their doom. But that's not a flood. That's just a wave.
Tsunami.
We
basically, yeah.
we put everyone inside one building and then flood the building. Checkmate. Yahtzee.
Well, that's
So-
only flooding the building.
Bingo.
So could
Of a
we?
game. Buckaroo.
So this is probably the most destruction ever caused in a Sonic game, right? Like nothing
Dude,
ever
Unleashed.
Are you not-
Unleashed.
I
are you
mean-
forgetting
No,
Sonic
everything's
Unleashed?
fine in Unleashed, though. The planet splits apart,
Well, I
but
mean,
nothing's
I mean,
broken.
if you don't
Shadow the
count-
Hedgehog, the Space Colony arc did nuke the White House and everything around it.
Yeah, but we don't know if that's canon or not because that game sucks.
Okay, so this the going from the CG cutscene to the in-game model may be the biggest downgrade in the history of the universe.
It's
of
like
anything.
PS4, PS1.
It's like it's like PS4 to fucking Atari. That's how much of a downgrade this thing is.
Exactly what do you consider yourself to be in relation
Are you sure this has been here since part
to
one?
the large glowing orb?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
Go
have.
back
Okay,
and go-
so at this
yeah.
point, how does Sonic know the car's name? Because she only introduces herself to Tails, and there's no cutscene of them talking about that. How the fuck does he know her name's Takal?
I guess Tails told him.
You
It's
know
in the
what?
script,
You know what,
yes.
Ted? Ted, I agree. This
It's
game's
in
fucking
the
bullshit.
script.
SA2's better. SA2's better.
Okay, let's time stamp. 10 minutes and 15 seconds. There we go. All right.
Look at that quivering elvish lip.
What is he smelling? Is
this
it just
model?
like, oh, did somebody fart in here?
Be
Okay.
very, very quiet. I'm hunting emeralds. Ma.
Oh, good. I've already got them all.
Look at his sweet rave party he's doing there. Like with the flash.
Oh my god, the textures on that floor.
The TV
Jesus.
static that's
I know.
asphalt.
So, the Chaos Emeralds confuse me. And I realize that they confuse everyone, but just conceptually, okay, in Sonic Adventure 1, they're connected to this giant water monster. In the previous games, they're just sort of energy sources, so we don't know much about them, but they turn Sonic into a Super Saiyan. Okay.
Yeah.
And in Sonic Adventure 2, suddenly they're time travel. Or time-space
Well,
travel.
it's kind of a thing. Like the whole.
No, they
like,
don't time travel in
the-
206. In
Right.
in SA2, they're just like
Teleports.
You can use them to warp. Yeah.
Yeah.
And 06 added time travel.
Yeah.
And then
so it's like, do they
yeah.
do everything? Or
Yes.
Yeah,
what?
they slowly
Whatever-
start doing everything.
yeah,
When you think
Lewis,
about it, though,
Lewis,
in this,
whatever-
if you think about the context of the story, if you think about it, the whole negative and positive power of the emeralds comes out of fucking nowhere. There's no build up to it.
They do
Like,
that.
Nope.
They do a lot more with it in Sonic X, where with the Metarex stuff and the Dark Supersonic, that's only
Yeah.
there for one episode and is never brought up again. And Sonic X is bad, so we're not gonna.
So this audio of Sonic was recorded at a Japanese gaming event when Sonic Adventure was first released. In a similar fashion for Sonic Generations, at a Sonic Boom and a Summer of Sonic, they recorded "Happy Birthday Sonic," which plays in the
Yeah.
credits of those respective games. I just want to take this point to once again remind everyone I am included in that "Happy Birthday Sonic." I am in Sonic Generations. Get fucked, everyone else.
If you do pay attention to the audio, they are saying Sonic Coup. You know, they're not
Yeah,
saying
Yeah.
Sonic Coup, Sonic Coup, because bunch
Okay,
of fucking
I'm gonna say
weebs.
the DX model for Supersonic looks a lot better without the shininess, but I definitely prefer the more angular model of Supersonic from the Dreamcast version.
Yeah.
It's
They got the music order wrong. This should have been in the second phase.
Yep. Also,
Yeah.
this Supersonic fight's kind of lame, because you literally just hold forward and boost and you win.
Which, yeah, but you know what? I will one thing I will say that this is actually harder, which is a lot from what I know, than the version in Generations, because if you don't have enough momentum, you won't be able to hit Chaos, unlike in Generations, where as soon as you enter its
Yeah,
body,
you kind of
automatically
go like
win.
halfway up, and then Sonic's like, I don't feel
Yeah,
like it.
so you know, so there is some level of like quote unquote challenge to this, but it's still a
I,
pretty
I,
easy
I
boss.
still I still find the Generations boss funner though. So
Well, yeah, because I like the fact that they made that more of like a level type of thing, which I thought
Yeah.
worked
Yeah.
for Perfect Chaos. But you know what? Again, for the first time playing this back in like 1999, I fucking loved this.
Yeah, I thought this was a really awesome climax
it's
when I
like
first got here.
by today's standards, Ted, I agree. This is probably one of the worst final bosses. But
Well-
in context of its release, I fucking loved
What's
this.
interesting, it was originally supposed to have a lot more, including, and tell me if this sounds familiar. There was a barrier that you needed to destroy first. You destroyed that barrier by tackling its tentacles repeatedly, and then you go for the core. Does that sound
You
like
know, Johnny,
any other
I
final
have never
boss
heard.
fight, you know?
I have never heard that before.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's a
in
lot
relation to
of
this.
there's a lot of unreleased content like for Sonic Adventure that got like axed, but yeah, this fight was supposed to be a lot like the Perfect Dark Gaia fight in Unleashed.
Wow.
Yeah.
They would later reuse.
Like, I mean, I can understand, but, like, Gareth, you're saying that for, like, 1999, or whenever this game came out. Like, I can kind of see that, but even, you know, come 2001, 2002, when I played the SA2 final boss fight and then went back to this on DX, I was still very underwhelmed, because I know we talked about this.
Camera?
Camera.
Oh fuck.
I have no idea what the hell
No,
that was
it's
kinda cool for me.
again, it's Sonic Unleashed. They're trying to have the 2D sections there.
I mean, Ted, I I don't mean gaming in general that this worked for gaming, because this even for games at the time, this is still a laughably easy final boss. I mean that me personally, I thought this was just fucking cool
Oh, well, then you have shit
back
taste.
in the day.
It's a cool
Well,
situation.
of course, because I'm in an LP
Well,
with
it's
you,
not
you
shit.
mook.
It's not shit. Taste of shit. Rob.
It's a
Yeah.
cool situation to play through. The gameplay attached to it just does not live up to that. So, unfortunate.
I did it.
They should have made that so that the only thing he says is "Huh!" so it matches the question mark.
Yeah, that's all. Well, that's all he can say. Yeah.
That's all you can say.
He's back to normal now. Get him, lads. All 6 characters just pound chaos.
The Chow were like, "Oh, the city's destroyed. That's our cue."
All right, we know you
Dabba.
murdered thousands of people, but you're good now.
Cool.
Because
Yay. All is
That's
forgiven.
fine.
So
Ted,
basically,
Ted, it was a Sunday. The buildings were empty.
So
well, then
you basically-
everybody on the
yes.
streets died. Then.
So Ted, chaos is just Bucky.
I mean, yeah.
Well, he's kind of an immortal thing, so it doesn't really matter
Bucky.
how you feel about him being alive. He's going to be alive. Better as a positive force in the world than as a negative one.
Yeah, Christians, take care of that.
Huh? Okay.
Just like Jesus, chaos turned into a giant water demon.
Okay,
Destroyed
see,
the city.
Takal's lying there because the Chow did not live peacefully with humans because there are people like Gareth
Matt-
and Matt
yeah,
who
Matt
try to
ex-
kill
Matt
them
exists.
on a regular basis.
No, see, Ted, that's not me and Matt. That's me controlling Sonic the Hedgehog, making them murder the Chow.
Sonic, did you learn nothing from the last game? I gotta punt these things.
Your attempt
Why
to
the fuck
discredit
does
me
Takal-
has failed.
The fuck does Takal have bandages in her hair? Did her hair get hurt?
Since when could you fly?
I like how
dead.
I like how even though this game is essentially about 6 characters, it's only the main trio that gets spotlighted during this end scene here.
Well, one of them's dead. One of them's probably using this time to fish some more because he's an insensitive prick. And Amy's probably going shopping again.
Where?
And
there's water all over the place,
she's gonna go buy a new swimsuit. The swimming
Where?
station square. The place in Sea Escape.
Sure, we'll go with that.
So she hopped a plane to San Francisco so she could go. Sure,
Yes.
why not? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, she got back fast.
No, I'm not saying it.
Say the
not
line,
saying it.
Gareth.
No, I'm not This LP's been fucking destroyed. Although, you know what?
Sit perfectly still. Only I may
this,
Sonic.
I said this on Twitter. I legitimately love the fact that this is supposed to be a happy ending, but the city's fucking destroyed. Like there is it's such an odd ending because it's gonna take fucking years to repair Station Square.
Yeah,
So
it's like honestly, I think it would have been a more fitting ending if like the last line was Eggman's like, all right, so let's do it. I mean,
Let's build
the city's
Robotropolis.
destroyed. Let me build the
I mean,
build Eggman
again,
land.
it's like technically speaking, Eggman gets his wish.
Wait, why is
Station
there a
Square's destroyed.
Christmas tree?
All right, so this playthrough is in the middle of the holidays. I figured we'd give you guys one last Christmas treat. And
Just to note, since he said Christmas, we're recording this on third night of Hanukkah.
Yeah, but there's no menorah as far as I'm aware. So
Keep the Han in Hanukkah.
Yeah. Sonic Adventure actually had a surplus of DLC that you could download like year one. A lot of it was holiday themed. There was one for Halloween. There was one for Christmas. There was I think it was a New Year celebration. There was one where the Dreamcast was being celebrated, and there was one that I posted on my Twitter yesterday at the time of this video, AT&T
yes.
promotion and a Reebok promotion. Where you play like time trial like mini games and collect tokens and all that sort of shit. The Christmas theme here. There's actually 2 Christmas themed for Sonic Adventure. One for 1998 when it released in Japan, and one in 1999 where it released in America.
Did they just leave that out of DX?
They left it out of DX. There's no way to, but to my knowledge, there's no way to access it in DX. But it was modded back in for PC.
Oh,
which is how I'm
I
showing
didn't
it
know
off.
about any of this. What is it? Extra levels?
Yeah. No, it's just extra little details
Just
there.
little
Oh,
things,
okay.
yeah.
But I also figured we'd end this playthrough with a look at the level that was probably changed the most
Yes.
between
Oh, cool.
the alpha release and the finished release, into Windy Valley. This is the original Windy Valley that was completely removed and axed because I honestly don't know why it was changed.
This looks
such.
amazing.
It looks weird to me. Like,
This looks like it. Oh my god, this is a level.
Yeah, Windy Valley for some reason or another was completely changed between releases, and I don't
This
know
is
why.
great. This is exactly what I want from a Sonic game.
Well, except from that really crummy looking tornado over there.
Well,
but
yeah, but that can be touched up. This is what I want from Sonic level design, though.
Now the problem here, though, is that because this was modded in, the camera is not perfect.
Oh, like
I
it's
would
not
like, it
good
wasn't-
in the
it
normal
wasn't to
game,
begin-
though.
As,
Yeah.
as opposed to the
I
rest
mean,
of the
okay,
game.
it's worse than usual.
Oh my god, wait.
I
Those are almost classic springs.
yes.
yeah.
Oh my god. This is
Yellow
great.
Springs, for
This
that
is
matter,
amazing.
Yeah, because originally it had both the red and yellow springs from the classic games. Yeah,
If they remake this game, they need to include this level.
I agree. It's a little too. It's a little slow at points, which I know you're not really expecting in a Sonic game. But I think they should bring it back in some capacity because this is actually a really cool looking level, especially the third act. The third act is so goddamn open with where you can go.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
You're right. This is wow. This is looking less like the stuff Sega makes and more like the stuff their fans make when they're trying to show Sega how it's done. Well, I mean, obviously the glitchy trampoline is a little bit of a
Yeah,
minus,
it's still pretty rough around the edges
but-
because again, this was a lot of the geometry was still within the game's coding, but the detection I think had to be manually implemented. So it's not perfect, but it is there.
So boys, we have we have this big open level for the end of Windy Valley.
Oh,
Is there any way we can improve it? Let's remove and put the whole thing on a fucking really tight corridor. That's good genius.
Yeah,
Naka,
did you see what they're doing here though? They're doing
Buy
stuff
another
like
Ferrari.
they're doing the kind of stuff that they do in the classic games with like ramps that you can spin dash up off of to get tons of air. This is way closer to what the 2D games were like, even though it's like way more 3D than the rest of this 3D game. Why did they not use this level? I don't get, this is better than anything in the final game. Oh my god.
I have no idea why this iteration of Windy
It probably
Valley
would have been
passed.
harder to test, honestly. That's the only thing I can think
It is
of.
pretty big, yeah.
Not
And
to
yet-
mention they
It's
probably
like-
wanted to show off, look how fast you can run, which is easier to do if you only have one.
There's plenty of room for
pathway.
that here though.
Yeah, but it's visually speaking, it's easier to show off.
Well, I don't
Look
want to
at
be
how-
a pirate.
Look at how fast you're going when it's just one.
Johnny, I like the fact that you've just caused Lewis to have his biggest heartbreak of all time.
It is. It legitimately is. This is beautiful. Come
I'd love to
on.
see, like years down the line, Lewis would be like at a funeral for like loved ones.
If
If
they-
be like, man,
if-
they fucking removed the best version of Windy Valley from SA1.
If they didn't want to use it as an early level, if they wanted to show off just blind speed early on, then they could have saved this level for later and moved it up in the level list or something.
Or just add another level.
Well,
That too.
they already have this level. Use it.
Just dude, this just becomes Skydeck for no reason.
It would
Hey,
be
it would've
better
been a
than
better
Sky
level.
Deck.
So like we go from the egg carrier just back here for no fucking good reason.
I'm
Sure,
okay with that.
swap some textures
Yeah.
around and call it Sky Deck. I'd take
What
it.
the fuck is that?
Yeah.
What the fuck is
This level is finished, I assure you.
Oh, you can actually hear that there's a second half to this song. Wow.
So there you go. Nice little Christmas bonus for you guys. That's Sonic Adventure.
Yeah, but we're
Basil
never gonna
Divided.
figure out who the hell made this game because you cut out the credit. Oh no.
Nope, there we go.
Oh,
No, there,
get
there.
fucked, Ted.
Okay, fine. Be that way.
Man.
And happy debut to Crush 40 with Johnny Gio.
You know-
early.
You know that level was just a perfect example of the kind of potential that I keep saying Sonic Adventure 1's controls and gameplay style have that we haven't seen yet. You know?
Although Ryan, if you want to get nerdy technical, you could make the case that Live and Learn is the first true Sonic Crush 40 song because Johnny Gioetti did not write the lyrics to this.
Gotcha.
Which is what I always felt that Opening Heart is a very, it stands out from a lot of the other, because most of all the other Cross Footy songs are either written by Johnny, or some of the earlier games they made for like the Sega racing games were actually written by Jude.
What the hell?
For the lyrics.
Oh, right. I forgot those jets had faces.
Yeah, but like I thought the lyrics for this was very atypical. No joke, still clouds floating in the air. The way Johnny sings that is one of my favorite lines from any song. I think he just sings that so well.
Yeah, but the
Or
song
about
also
the,
has the line,
Can't
"Gotta open your heart, dude," which is the worst line in
Hold on.
all of music. So you
Can't
know.
hold.
No, the YouTube version where it's just thunder, rain, and lightning over and over and over again.
I was tempted, Gareth. I really was, but we never get our final thoughts out because I'd be too
Thunder,
busy
rain, and
laughing.
lightning.
Thunder,
Thunder, rain, and lightning.
lightning.
Thunder, rain, and lightning. It's such a blob. Thunder, rain, and lightning. Thunder, rain, and lightning.
What, have you never heard that, Clement?
I still,
Rain,
No, I've heard of it.
It's us.
my favorite one is still, "Can you feel time moving through your
Moving
mind?"
through your mind.
Although some just make me angry. Like there's one for the Pokemon Gold, Silver, Crystal
really going
Champion
for it,
theme,
yeah.
where it's just doop.
Stop! You're gonna wake
doop,
your fucking kid up.
Doop, 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 and it just repeats that over and over.
No,
before getting to
the
real
best one is
melody.
still Delphino Plaza. Dun, dun, dun,
Dude,
dun,
no
dun,
joke.
dun, dun, dun.
Ryan, no joke. That makes TJ want to puke.
Really?
Because it never goes. Yeah, it never goes.
The other day, me and him were helping somebody move, and we were in a room, and he was blocked by a bed, and so I put it on my phone, and he was fucking furious because he couldn't turn it off.
So, yeah, this game is aged. It's not
Very,
the best.
very badly
I only
in
like
some
half of it. And I would struggle to recommend it nowadays, but you know, this is where I did start with 3D Sonic. I have a lot of memories with the game, and like I'll defend the Sonic stages and the idea behind Tails and Knuckles, but you know, it's just like the other half of the game is just not a good time at all. You know, in an age where we already had like Mario 64, Banjo-Kazooie, Crash Bandicoot, Spyro the Dragon. I cannot recommend those play styles in good faith.
Yeah.
That said, though,
What about Bad Faith?
As yeah, then the by
Go
all
for
means,
it.
Are you sure,
fuck you
Lewis?
and
Are
your
you
religion.
sure that's better?
Yeah, I am.
That's Shadow. Ted, that is just Shadow. You
Yes,
should love
it
that.
is, but Shadow's supposed to look like Shadow, not Sonic. Oh, hey,
It doesn't
oh,
look
we needed
needlessly-
a
No,
slightly to the
Ted.
left version of Super Sonic.
It-
there,
it-
all
it
right.
doesn't look needlessly
in
inflated.
canon, dude, in canon, Shadow was modeled off the Super Sonic.
No, and that's what I mean.
fucking
That's
canon.
like I get it, and it looks fine when it's Shadow, and Supersonic looks fine in other models, but that one is bad.
It looks better to me. It's also
Eh.
gold.
What about you, Ryan?
I came into this.
I claim.
No, I came into this after playing Adventure 2 for the most part. Obviously, I played the demo to hell and back of Emerald Coast at Toys R Us all the time whenever we would go there.
Yeah.
But I did not fully complete this game until after Adventure 2, around the time Heroes came out on the X4 GameCube, so I think it's aged fairly poorly even on some of its better aspects comparatively, because I guess I just like SA2 better. But yeah, it just if you have the ability to play Sonic and Tails and just kind of leave the rest alone.
Yeah, but that's like an hour of game.
Not even if you're
so.
fast. What about you, Lewis?
Well, I only played it on the Dreamcast, not the Dreamcast, the GameCube. So, I played it, I sort of enjoyed it, and then I forgot about it. It was anticlimactic considering how much I had wanted to play it when I was a kid, but...
It's also not anime. Stop calling it anime.
Gareth, go on. Your turn.
I like this game.
Okay.
It is a game. I'm done. Come back to me. Come back to me. I'm dying.
Okay, kill Matt.
This game's certainly aged, but I think it has a lot of charm to it, despite how much it's aged. I think that it's still a comfortable game to play, even if it's a little jank, but that adds to kind of the fun for me. The soundtrack is still incredible. I still think people need to listen to the music if you want to get into this, into Sonic in general. It's fun to see the early 3D, beginnings of Sonic and to see how things were kind of trying to be epic with Amy Rose and her arc and Chaos and Tikal and the Echidna backstory and all that stuff. And it's fine. It's Sonic Adventure 2 is better, but it's fine.
So much sin in this room.
I mean, Clement. No.
Well, here's the thing with SA1. One other thing I think ages so poorly about this game is that it's too easy. It's so brainless,
That's a good point.
When I think about the boss fights, when I think about the Gamma levels, Amy levels, they're just so short and so whatever that it's a fun novelty to play, but it's not like the definitive 3D Sonic game that everyone should go out and check out. Whereas I think Sonic Adventure 2, at least they tried to make better levels, more challenging bosses, like the Bio Lizard and everything else, and I just think it's a more satisfying game to play, especially with its Chow Garden and its kart racing, and it just feels more focused. Whereas this one feels like a tech demo for, we're putting Sonic in 3D, so we don't want to make it too hard, but we want to do some cool, fun stuff here and there, and it's fun. I just think SA2 is a better game.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay, well then
Agreed.
you might as well skip over me because Clement said everything I could just better.
Just repeat what Clement said with a more condescending tone.
Okay, I take offense to that. I mean, I guess
also,
that
Ted.
really, the only thing I could add is just
Is that Sonic fans are stupid?
I mean, yes, they are, to be fair. But like the only thing I could add is that they really, there is a lot of ambition to this game, which I appreciate. But a lot of the time, I find that ambition and focus are often, you don't often see them go hand in hand. And when you do, that's when you get a truly amazing game. But here, it's just like they wanted to try so many things, but they gave up trying to make. Gave up trying to make a few things focused to have a lot of different things, and so that's how you end up with some stuff that's good and some stuff that's not good, So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You focus now, Gareth?
Yeah, I've stopped dying now. It's good. I think like others have said, if I remove my nostalgia glasses, this as Johnny said, you can't really, with a straight face, recommend this game to a newcomer. The only thing you could possibly say is like just play Sonic Story.
Yeah.
And skip everything else. Oh, like maybe Tails if you want to play Sonic Story in a third of the time, because why not? That's fun. But it's like if I put my nostalgia glasses back on, this is still one of my favorite games of all time. Which I fully admit, if I didn't have that nostalgia, I would probably view this as a lot of people view games like Lost World or whatever. It's like, it's whatever. It's a game. Who cares? But the soundtrack is something that I still love more than anything. So you're dead to me, Lewis. And it's just it's a game that I've been saying this for the past 5 years. I would love this game to be remade. Originally, I would have said like SA1 and SA2 to be remade out of like the Insane Trilogy or the Spiral remakes. But after going over this LP, I would much rather them to kind of do something more in the vein of like the Ratchet and Clank remake.
It's a
But good,
better
right?
version of that, I hope.
I like that game. It's just that because again, there's so many things like creating original levels for like Tails and Knuckles and Amy and all that stuff, which I think if they were just to do a straight remake but like fix the controls and like improve all the glitches, that would still be fun. I would still enjoy that. But I think really to kind of same with SA2. I do think there are a lot of things you could also improve and change in SA2 to make them both more of a cohesive like complete package, as it were, which I don't think that'll happen. But this is still a game that started a tradition of me of just buying a console for one game, which if I had never played this game, I wouldn't have that, and I'd have more money. So I hate this game, and I wouldn't play it again.
Fuck this game. It made me broke.
It is this maybe, although again, like SA1, I have a special place in my heart because realistically speaking, without SA1, there wouldn't be an FTCO, which by extension there wouldn't be BrainScratch. So you're welcome, internet. And like I wouldn't have my wife or son. So in those cases, this game means a lot to me, which is why I am now planning to murder Lewis for insulting it.
There is certainly a lot of sentimental value to be had with these games, but when it comes down to it, I can't recommend them. Like, even then, just a part of the games, because it's even then, like, it's funny, like when we get into like the SA1 versus SA2 things, I'm not even comparing the whole game. I'm just comparing the Sonic stages of both of them, because I recognize and acknowledge that SA2 is probably the objectively better game. Because it is just, it is more, it is more,
we got it. We got it, boys. Yes.
It is, you know, because you have to. It is clear that it is more focused, but SA1's better.
No, you literally just said it. Oh my god.
Okay.
That's just thinking with your emotions, not logic.
What it comes down to is that I don't think either of the adventure games are things that we can recommend as entry points to the series. They are very important and interesting historical points in the Sonic series, but you're better off coming at them after you played the classics, or after you played Generations or Unleashed, or even Lost World, I would say.
Well, I mean, not to drag this out longer, because it's already been like 10 minutes, but the thing is that I think the most common starting points that you hear about Sonic are Sonic 2 or Sonic Adventure / Adventure 2. Like, I think Adventure 2 is
but that's more in the sense of starting points for when those games came out.
Yeah, but I guess just what I'm saying is that there is an element to the adventure games that still get people so emotional about them, even 15 years after, whereas even a game like Unleashed, well, definitely games like Lost World and Sonic Boom don't get people that emotional. You know, I'd even say stuff like Unleashed or Heroes doesn't make people that emotional, but these games do.
Part of that
is angry or happy. You know?
Part of that is where the standards of game design and game feel sat at the time the games came out, because the Sonic Adventure games, for as badly aged as they are, were technically very impressive to everyone at that time. You know, even just looking at a screenshot of the Dreamcast's jank-ass looking Sonic model was really impressive. And it's like,
at
so
the
many
time,
polygons.
though, is the phrase to be stressed.
Yeah, at the time.
You know, that's the thing. It has not aged. But I think, you know, those feelings that we have for the Adventure series, the impact it left on Sonic, for better or worse, warrants a remake. They're sitting on a gold mine. They are sitting on a gold mine if they ever do whatever they have to do, what it takes to remake Adventure 1 and 2.
Well, Square Enix already pressed the Final Fantasy VII remake button, so I guess Sega is now the replacement for Adventure 1 and 2 remakes button.
I don't think it would be that as big of a deal as FF7.
No, but functionally it's the same joke.
It honestly depends on how well they do it, if they do it. You know, they could remake the game, and if it's a clunky mess, no one's going to give a shit.
Just for the love of God, do not let the Forces team remake SA1, please.
Yeah, no boost.
Speed Highway, you're going so fast the level's done in 2 seconds.
Yeah, it's just
Remember
these
playing
two
as
games.
Tails?
These two games always have like that emotional connection to so many Sonic fans. There are people who still say Sonic games nowadays should just drop the boost formula and go back to the way adventure games used to handle.
Well,
and they want stories as deep and complex as the adventure games were. And I know that's funny. But you laugh. But what is that compared? what is there compared?
In the Sonic series, not much, but
Exactly.
when they say deep and emotional, I think they're talking more about
Exactly.
the intent of the structure rather than what the story that is actually
Yeah.
produced. Because
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
I think with SA1, the only aspect of this story that you could maybe possibly say is it's deep and complex are those stupid flashbacks. But they don't really do anything.
I know.
I've thought about this a lot over the past couple of years, and I think it's not so much the depth or the complexity, but the sincerity that's being shown.
Yeah,
because if you look at all of the Sonic games from, I'd say starting a little bit with Unleashed, but definitely with Colors onward, they're very jokey. They're very, ironic. They're very I can't think of the right word,
Straightforward.
but they're not trying. They're straightforward, but they're also trying to. It's not. They're not. They're being self-aware in a way that, oh, we know our stories are dumb, so we're gonna poke fun at it. Ha ha ha. Whereas Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 didn't really do that. They just had a story and they told it. And that lack of sincerity is something I've missed in modern Sonic games. For sure.
You mean that the presence of sincerity, lack of sincerity is the opposite of what you're
sure.
talking
I
about.
I would argue. I mean, yes, I know it still has some dumb jokes, but you could argue that Force is kind of that.
It's them. I felt it was them trying, but
it would have
It's
been
trying.
if they'd finished the story.
There were also presentation issues, but that's a whole. Other
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a whole other can of worms.
Before we go on a rest of the Sonic franchise podcast,
Guys,
for
please
5
shut the
more
fuck
hours.
up.
I have to go to bed.
I have to get this part up in 12 hours.
I have a
I'm
race.
just-
I have a
I'm
race
just-
in less than 12, so
I'm just fucking saying. I'm gonna say it. Right? Sonic Colors is too fucking political. I'm just saying.
Ever since they made Tails males' right activist, it just hasn't been the same.
Jeez.
Yeah, my favorite spinoff is Sonic the Leftist Cuck.
Okay,
That's one way to
enough.
end
Good night,
this.
everybody. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
Goodbye.